How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Wagon Wheel. If you'd like to get the Wagon Wheel for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over into the Guts of Carnivora on Pandora and make your way nearly all the way through towards the final interior section, which just out front of it you will hit a save station, which is where we'll be resetting from. From there, continue on forward where the tank train will spawn, who you can kill to get yourself the Wagon Wheel. The Wagon Wheel is a legendary Jakobs pistol, having the unique effect that on hit, it will ricochet out 7 projectiles in all directions, with that being 15 projectiles on crit. The ricochet projectiles will also bounce off of surfaces. The Wagon Wheel has received a buff, being a 30% weapon damage increase. The Wagon Wheel, back in the day, used to be an absolutely insane pistol, and while it was great on everyone, I remember specifically this thing just being absolutely incredible on flak. It would just melt whatever you pointed it at and anything within the immediate vicinity. Nowadays though, wow, I was somewhat aware of it having fallen from grace, but man has it fallen. The single target damage of this gun is absolutely atrocious. It took way too many shots to take out a single trash mob on True Molly 1 takedown, which is not only terrible on ammo efficiency, but also so many reloads. Because keep in mind, we're working with a base mag size of 4 here. But look, bad single target damage is one thing. This isn't really a single target gun though, right? The real problem is that it doesn't really make up for it anywhere else. You know, like you would assume that it should, given that the unique effect is all about ricocheting that damage elsewhere by fanning out a shit ton of projectiles in all directions. Especially considering that those extra projectiles will dupe with bonus projectiles through the Infernal Wish Plain Dirty or Two Fang. Poor single target damage would actually be pretty fine on this sort of gun, if not for the fact that, yeah, the ricochet damage isn't that impressive either. It's gonna throw out a lot of projectiles. You're probably gonna hit maybe about half of them consistently, which is still a lot of projectiles to be hitting. You would assume that maybe it would do damage, but nah, it just kinda doesn't. And what sucks even harder than the gun itself is how desperately I actually want to love this gun. I remember just how fun it was to use back in the day, and even just how good it felt. It was incredibly satisfying to hit a crit and see those projectiles just fly out in every single direction towards any other enemy nearby. And even with them not doing damage, it's still fun to see that. And listen, before I show this next clip, please keep in mind that this gun is still pretty bad, but my Jakobs Mose build actually makes it look solid. And in that, makes it good enough that, yeah, I can really remember just how fun this gun used to be and be even more disappointed by the state that it's currently in. If this gun, in the state that it's in right now, is this good on this build, if it was actually a good gun, I'd probably be able to run it all the way through True Guardian Takedown. And it would probably be incredible for dealing with all the Guardians on crystals. Unfortunately though, we ain't in that timeline. In our timeline, the Wagon Wheel can't even hold up that great at lower tiers of content, with literally the only time it ever felt remotely good was Athena's. But I mean, even then, take a look at what happened when I had the misfortune of running into a single badass. Everything falls apart. The Wagon Wheel used to shine back in the day, but unfortunately we ain't back in the day no more. Nowadays, it's kind of a husk of itself, and at best is an incredibly mid Jakobs pistol, but even then I think that's being a little too kind to it, because genuinely some of the purple Jakobs pistols felt better than this thing. Now to fix it, I think there's a couple things that can be done here. Either you lean into it being that small mag pistol, even maybe lower the fire rate on it, give it way more damage, higher crit damage, and make it just like kind of a hand cannon that explodes a bunch of projectiles outwards. Or you just leave it as is, maybe a slight damage increase, and just buff up the mag size. If this thing even just had a base of 6, that would make it significantly more effective with mag size bonuses, and the 10.5 fire rate might actually make sense. I'm still not sure it would be an incredible gun, but it would be significantly more usable than it is right now. That's gonna about do it for this one though. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where you can follow to be notified of when I go live, and just below that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.